With us today, joining us is Grzegorz Gwardys, who is the head of data science at Promity, who leads AI, machine learning, and computer vision projects, and he also lectures in postgraduate AI and data science programs. And in this webinar, he will present a proven approach to building successful AI products using CalfCam, which is a real-world case study. So CalfCam is a real product. It is actually deployed on dairy farms, monitoring over 2,000 dairy cows, and of course detecting calving contractions with 95% precision using AI. So using the example, Grzegorz will show how the collaboration with domain experts and end users combined with the product discovery, customer workshops, continuous feedbacks from real deployment turns and operational challenges into AI products that deliver a measurable business value. So I think it's very interesting to stay throughout the webinar and to approach this, because definitely it is tackling all parts of our networks, from the processing side, from the farm input side, everything reaching to the farmers. So I'm very happy to have you, Grzegorz and Lukasz, today with us.
Okay, can you see my slide with the title? Great.
May I interrupt a little? We just opened a company in London and we are planning to open one in Germany too.
Congratulations.
Brilliant. Thank you for an update.
Okay, I would like to point out that the approach I'm presenting today is universal. While I'll be using dairy farming as an example, this exact same method can be applied to any industry. Let's imagine that this is a brand new agricultural innovation. It promises to solve almost every challenge a dairy farmer might face. Artificial intelligence, computer vision, sensors, smart analytics, predictive models. Everything modern technology has to offer. Looking at it from an engineering perspective, it looks impressive. But today I'd like you to look at it from a completely different perspective. Imagine you are the farmer. You see this machine for the first time. What's the first question that comes to your mind? Probably something like, what exactly is this for? How is this going to help me? And honestly, that's exactly the right question, because technology has no value on its own. It only becomes valuable when it solves a real problem. So if a farmer asks the question, we've actually achieved something. At least we've started a conversation. Unfortunately, in reality, that conversation rarely happens. Dairy farmers are surrounded by new products. Every company claims to have the next breakthrough. Every product promises to save time, improve productivity, or increase profitability. From the farmer's perspective, they are simply surrounded by noise. They don't have the time to analyze every new technology. They don't have the time to ask every vendor, what problem does your product actually solve? They have farm to run. And after seeing enough of these promises, something interesting happens. Farmers stop listening, not because they don't like innovation, not because they don't appreciate technology, but because they simply don't have the capacity to evaluate another product. Every new solution competes for their attention, and attention is already their scarcest resource. That's why approaching a customer with another revolutionary innovation is rarely a good starting point. We need to start somewhere else. So, this raises an important question. If introducing another product isn't the right place to start, where should we start? Our answer is simple. We start with the customer, not with the technology, not with artificial intelligence, and not with a product idea. We begin by understanding the customer's world, their daily routine, their frustrations, their challenges, their goals. This is the role of a product discovery engineer. Sometimes you'll also hear the term pre-sales, but I prefer a much simpler definition. Our job is to understand the customer well enough that we can genuinely help them. So, what did we learn? The first thing we discovered was surprisingly consistent. Almost every conversation led to the same issue: time, or more accurately, the lack of it. Running a modern dairy farm is incredibly demanding. Farmers make hundreds of decisions every day. Every task seems urgent. Every problem competes for their attention. And unlike many other professions, these problems don't wait until tomorrow. Animals don't care if it's Sunday morning. They don't care if it's Christmas. And they certainly don't care if it's 3 o'clock in the morning. That's why time pressure becomes one of the biggest sources of stress. If you want to build technology that really helps, this is the first problem we have to understand. Time isn't the only challenge. The second one is scale. Managing 20 cows is one thing. Managing 200 is something completely different. Managing 2000 is another world altogether. Many farmers start with relatively small herds. They know every animal. They notice small behavioral changes. They recognize when something isn't quite right. But as the herd grows, that approach simply doesn't scale. No matter how experienced you are, there comes a point where one person simply can't observe everything. That's exactly where technology begins to create value, not by replacing experience, but by extending it. There's another aspect that's easy to overlook. Agriculture is one of the most regulated industries. Animal welfare isn't only an ethical responsibility, it's also a legal obligation. Farmers have to comply with regulations, they have to document important events, and they need to be able to demonstrate that the required procedures have been followed. So when we design AI systems, we are not only thinking about automation, we are also thinking about traceability, transparency, and regulatory compliance. A successful solution has to support all of this. And finally, there's one more requirement. A successful solution shouldn't work on just one farm. It should work on hundreds of farms. Farms differ in size, they differ in layout, they differ in daily routines. Yet the underlying solution should remain the same. We can't redesign the entire system every time another barn is added. That's why scalability is essential. And because agriculture is a major industry, our solutions also have to integrate with existing standards and established workflows. In other words, good AI isn't only intelligent, it also fits naturally into the customer's environment. At this point, you might be wondering, you are a software company. How do you know all this about dairy farming? That's a perfectly fair question. We certainly didn't start with this knowledge. We had to learn it. And over the last few years, we've learned a great deal, not only about agriculture, but also about the people working in it. Let me briefly explain where that knowledge comes from. We work very closely with the Warsaw University of Life Sciences. In fact, almost all of our agricultural research and development projects are carried out together with the university, whether it's Milk Profiler or CalfCam or any of our other agricultural projects. The university is always involved. They bring deep domain expertise. We bring expertise in AI and software engineering. And I believe that's one of the reasons these collaborations work so well. Neither side is trying to replace the other. We complement each other. Together we build solutions that neither of us could build alone. Our second source of knowledge is much less academic. It's simply talking to customers. Some of you may already know Łukasz Sendek, who is responsible for sales. I like to joke that his real job isn't selling, it's learning. There's a funny story about him. Whenever we are at an industry conference and everyone gathers for the official group photo, Łukasz is usually missing. He's somewhere nearby, talking to another customer, not because he's trying to close another deal, but because he's trying to understand another problem. Every conversation teaches us something, and every new insight helps us build better products. The first source of knowledge is probably the most important one, our product discovery workshops. This picture shows one of those workshops. Here we are working together with the customer's team. And I think this is really the core message of today's presentation. We don't sit in our office inventing products and then looking for someone to buy them. Instead, we work with the customer to understand their problems first. Together, we identify the biggest challenges. We try to understand what really causes them pain. And not and only when we genuinely understand the problem do we start discussing possible solutions. Sometimes those solutions already exist. Sometimes they don't. In many cases, we are creating them together for the very first time. I would like to show you one of the solutions that emerged from this process. This is CalfCam, our computer vision system for monitoring cows during the calving process. But for us, CalfCam is much more than just a product. Once we deployed it on real farms, it became a completely new source of knowledge. Of course, we can evaluate how well our computer vision models perform, but that's only part of the story. We can also observe how the farm actually operates, how employees respond to notifications, how quickly they react, whether they follow the intended workflow, whether they are overwhelmed by the responsibilities, and perhaps most importantly, where the process itself can be improved. In other words, we deploying the product doesn't mark the end of the product discovery. It becomes the beginning of the next iteration. Every deployment teaches us something new. Every observation helps us better understand the customer's daily work. And very often, that's where ideas for the next product come from. You could even say that we are gradually becoming not only a product company, but also a consulting company. Our recommendations are no longer based only on research papers or workshop discussions. They are based on observing what actually happens on real farms every single day. So far, I've been talking about what we've learned. Now I'd like to explain how we learned it, because none of this happened by accident. We follow a structured product discovery process. And what I like about this process is that it's completely universal. Today we are talking about dairy farming. Tomorrow it could be healthcare, manufacturing, banking, or virtually any other industry. The customer changes, the technology changes, but the product discovery process remains remarkably similar. So let me give you a very brief overview. The framework we use is based primarily on design thinking. I'm sure many of you are already familiar with it, so I'll only spend a minute on the process itself. It starts with empathy. Before we propose any solution, we need to understand the customer, and we need to understand them well. Because if we misunderstand the customer, every decision that follows will be based on the wrong assumptions. Once we understand the customer, we define the problem we actually want to solve. Only then do we start generating ideas. I think this is one of the biggest misconceptions about innovation. Many people believe brainstorming is the first step. For us, it's something in the middle, because good ideas only emerge after we've understood the problem. Then we build prototypes. Sometimes they are simple sketches, sometimes interactive mockups. And today, thanks to AI-assisted coding, they can be even functional applications built in just a few minutes. Finally, we test those ideas with customers. We ask two simple questions. Do you actually like this solution, and what would you change? That's the entire cycle. Simple in principle, but incredibly powerful when applied consistently. Of course, we don't have enough time today to explore every product discovery technique. So let me show you one example. This is how we developed one of our own products. After interviewing customers and running product discovery workshops, we collected a long list of problems. The next challenge was deciding which one we should solve first. So we organized them according to two simple dimensions: impact and frequency. We asked ourselves which problems occur most often and which ones have the greatest impact on the customer's business. One issue immediately stood out: high calf mortality. But identifying the problem wasn't enough. We still had to understand why it was happening. That's where the five whys technique became incredibly useful. Why are calves dying? Because intervention comes too late. Why? Because nobody notices when calving begins. Why? Because there isn't a continuous supervision. Why? Because there isn't an automated alerting system. And suddenly, we weren't talking about calf mortality anymore. We are talking about notifications. That's a completely different engineering problem. But the story doesn't end there. Once we solved one problem, another one immediately appeared. We asked ourselves, what happens after calving? The answer was obvious. The calf should receive colostrum as quickly as possible. So instead of stopping at calving detection, we extended the entire workflow. Once CalfCam detects that a calf has been born, we know that the next important event should be colostrum feeding. If the event doesn't happen with the expected time window, the system automatically generates another alert. This is a good example of how product discovery changes the way we think. Initially, we thought we were building a calving detection system. Today, I would describe it very differently. We are supporting the entire post-calving process. That's a much broader perspective and ultimately much more valuable for the customer. So, let's assume we've completed our product discovery process. We've identified the right problem. We designed a solution. We've built the first version of the system. Are we done? Not even close. This is where the next stage begins. Deploying a computer vision system is never a one-time activity. It's an iterative process. We start by deploying the infrastructure, cameras, networking, compute. Once everything is running, we can finally start collecting real-world data. And that's an important distinction. Until this point, we've been working with assumptions. Now we are working with reality. We train the models, we deploy them, we observe the results, and inevitably, we discover false positive. We miss certain events. Some notifications arrive too early, others arrive too late. That's perfectly normal. Those aren't failures, they are feedback. Every false positive tells us something. Maybe the model needs more training data. Maybe the camera angle isn't ideal. Maybe we need another camera. Maybe the workflow itself should change. Then we improve the system, deploy it again, collect more data, and repeat the cycle. Even every iteration makes the system a little better. But more importantly, every iteration teaches us something new about the customer's environment. That's why I like to think of deployment as another product discovery activity. Because once the system is running, the customer starts teaching us things we could never have learned during a workshop. Let me finish by summarizing the process we followed throughout this presentation. It consists of 3 simple steps. First, start with a real problem. Before thinking about AI, before discussing architectures, before selecting models, spend time understanding the customer. Build empathy, observe how they work, identify the problems that matter most, and keep asking why. The 5 whys technique is a simple but powerful way of moving from symptoms to root causes. Because solving the wrong problem with the great technology is still solving the wrong problem. Second, design iteratively. Once you understand the problem, don't jump straight into implementation. Explore different ideas, brainstorm, build simple prototypes, test them with users, learn from their feedback, and only then decide which technology is actually needed. Sometimes the answer is AI, sometimes it isn't. The technology should always follow the problem, not the other way around. And finally, take care of your data. Deploying a computer vision system is only the beginning. From that moment on, your most valuable asset becomes the data you collect. New recordings, new annotations, new edge cases, every false positive, every misdetection, every new observation becomes an opportunity to improve the system. In computer vision, model improvement is fundamentally a data problem. Better data leads to better models. Better models create better products, and better products generate even more valuable data. That's a continuous learning cycle, and that's exactly how we developed CalfCam. Thank you very much. I would be happy to answer any questions.